Hi there, here we go with another one of my repotting and taking cutting movies. This is my two tall cactuses. I got one when it was about an inch high, tiny little miniature cactus, and it just kept growing. And as it kept growing, I kept taking cuttings. And in the end, I kept two plants. And what happens is each winter I stop watering them and they wilt and they end up completely falling over in their pots. And then around March time I start watering them and they perk right up. So here I've got these plant pots reduced in the sale from the garden centre. They were £1.99 each. I got 4 for 50p each. So as we go through the usual thing, I fill the pots with compost first. It's a recycled compost, reclaimed, recycled, not excellent stuff, I have to admit, but you know, doing our bit for the environment. Filling up the pots with the compost, and then once they're filled, I'm gonna water them. Now the thing about dealing with cactuses that are spiky is how on earth do you touch them? I'm going to show you the technique that I used and see if you think that it worked. There's my beautiful big cactus. What I'm trying to do is maybe I want them to go to about 5 foot high. I would just absolutely love it. If I could get these guys to grow to 5 foot high, I'd be over the moon. So I'm going to take a few cuttings and I'm using tongs. So I don't have to touch the spiny parts of the plant. You can see I'm using my Victorinox tomato slicing pink knife. But really, you don't need to do that with this kind of cactus. You can literally just break off the pieces. So as you see, I break off the pieces. There's one tiny little piece in there, and a big piece, and another big piece. So I think I'm going for about 5 or 6 pieces per pot. So I'm just basically trying to pick ones off that don't ruin the shape of my big cactus, because I'm wanting to keep the big cactus. And I'm just trying to choose ones that I think will make a good starting point for some more to grow. I mean, I didn't used to like cacti, but they are just so easy. If you can be not over fussy with them, they don't like fuss, you know, you've got to leave them to dry out, especially in the winter time. For these fleshy kind of moist succulent type of cactus, if you overwater them in wintertime, they can easily rot. So they need to dry out. And if they dry out in the wintertime, I find that when you come to the spring and you water them again, they will perk up. Whereas if they are full of water and the temperature gets too low and they maybe freeze, the water in their stems will freeze too and kill them. So if they're dry, you shouldn't have that problem. So I think I've about taken as much off that cactus as I want to, and so now, as you can see, what I'm going to do is take my little pieces out, and you'll notice they're very firm. They're not spongy at all. They're very plump and firm. You can see them as I drop them on the side there. And I'm just going to be making holes around the edge of the pots in the soil, in the compost. And I'm going to just push these pieces in. Now, as I said in one of my other videos about taking cactus cuttings, what they recommend is that you leave those bits to dry out first, you know, for a day or so, and then plant them. But I'm eager. Desperately want to get on with the job and get something else done. So I've just buried them, cut them off, and then stuck them in the soil. I mean, it's literally that simple. Trying to make a pretty pattern around the edge. I mean, at the very least, if these things take a while to grow, you've got some green in the pot looking fine, you know? They could all grow together there for quite some time. I don't think you'll need to separate them until at least next year, but we shall see. Excuse me, I'm going to cough. I'm having a gin and tonic this evening rather than a cup of tea while I do my voiceovers. So watch out, better beware that I don't get a little bit too carried away and start slurring my words or talking rubbish. I mean, that is quite possible. Oh, delicious. It's the Evil Eye gin that I'm drinking. Certainly an acquired taste. It's one of those colour changing gins that you pour it into the cup, into the glass, and it's blue, and then when you add the tonic it turns pink, pale shade of pink. Anyway, back to the cactus cutting. There we go. I've done one pot and now I'm on to the second. See, the reason you are watching this, the reason you are staying tuned at this level is because watching other people do things is preferable to doing them yourself. So by you watching this, it's almost as if you've gone through the process yourself. There's very little editing that I've done in the thing, in the films. I sometimes take a little bit out, but really not, because you're watching it in real time. And because you're watching it in real time, you'll see how quick and easy it is to do. And you can do this thing on a budget. You don't need to buy terracotta pots from a garden centre, even if they are reduced. You could literally put some compost in an old margarine tub, or a jam jar, or a beer can. You know, the object that you put the soil in doesn't matter. What I do find though is that you, I'm afraid, have to buy some soil. But I'm going to look into that and see if there's ways that people on a budget can get away with not having to buy potting compost. There must be some way that you can grow plants without needing to buy soil at first. I mean, obviously once you've got it, then all you need is a little bit of Miracle Grow or liquid compost feed to keep it fine for many, you know, you could use it a number of times. Also, the thing about taking cuttings is it's free. So, you know, you buy one plant and you can make hundreds of other plants. You just need patience. And patience nowadays, people just don't have the patience. Anyway, there we go. I'm watering them after I've put a bit more soil on. I hope you liked this clip. I hope it wasted some of your time for you in an enjoyable way. Have a lovely day. Take care, folks, and see you soon. Bye.